Welcome back, everyone, to the Bears Travel Plays YouTube channel. Today is Thursday, November 7th, and we're going to be looking at another college basketball game for Thursday night. We don't have a ton of matchups, don't have a lot of great matchups, not a top 25 matchup tonight, but we are going to break down a game that you're going to be able to watch. We have Prairie View A&M going up against DePaul. I've got my best game pick and two best player props for tonight's slate. Actually, scratch that. We're going to go with one player prop tonight, going to be in that DePaul game. Before we get into those plays, let's take a look at the Wednesday night picks. We have Columbia plus 17.5 going up against Villanova. They're battling. I mean, this is a battle. Currently down by 2 late in the first half. I mean, they look good. Villanova looks good. Also, hand up, Eric Dixon is still at Villanova. He was suspended game 1. I looked at the roster, looked at the stats. He wasn't there. Him being at Villanova, that is such a lift for them. He was the leader last season. He's been the leader for the last 2 years. Still don't have more, but you can just tell whenever you watch Dixon play, he's at another level. Like he's an NBA kind of guy. I don't know if he's going to get a shot in the NBA, but even like the 13th man on the bench that can make any shot in the room. Dixon came out in the first game. It was I want to say 18-footer splash, and then he hit a three-pointer from the top of the key splash, three-pointer from the right wing splash. Everything this guy does is just smooth. So Villanova has at least one guy who can do his thing. We've got Wooga Poplar also has 8 points already in the game. We have over 14.5 for his player prop, and those are the two plays that we have for Wednesday night. So hopefully, Columbia keeps this a game. I'd love to see a great game in the second half. But let's take a look at the game for Thursday night. We're going to be looking at Prairie View A&M, the Panthers, going up against DePaul Blue Demons. This is not going to be a Columbia situation because I think they're going to be able to handle Villanova in the second half. I hope they can cover the spread as well, but I think this is going to be a beat down by DePaul because I've been looking at this Prairie View lineup, and they did put up a lot of points in the first game, 111. Great. They have 3 of their guards. They scored 24-plus points. They had another 2 players who scored double-digit points. Orlando Horton was a leading scorer in the last game. He was at Prairie View, only averaged 6 points last season. They have a player named Nick Anderson. He is playing his first year of college basketball as a junior. He was able to score 27 points in the first game. They've got another guy, the guard, I should say point guard, Petaway. He played in Mexico State last season. He averaged 5 points per game. He scored 24 points. So I'm not entirely sure if these guys got any better or if the competition they played was that bad. And whenever I went to look at the competition that they played, couldn't even click on the team name. They had no stats available for Biblical Studies, the basketball team that is Biblical Studies. They beat them 111-90 in the first game of the season. So Biblical Studies, 90 points on the head of Prairie View A&M. For DePaul, they actually played a team. They played Southern Indiana. They did need overtime to beat them, but I do think DePaul is going to be better than last season. They got a couple key transfers. One of them I'm going to be breaking down as a player prop today. He was able to pour in 25 points in game number 1. The other guy that I think is going to be a big impact is going to be from Coastal Carolina. That's Jacob Meyer. He scored 16 points per game last season for Coastal. They have a really, really good guard play. They've got some size down low. I think this could be a rout. I think DePaul might be a decent team this year. There is also the chance that Prairie View, those players that they played in the last game, maybe they just got better overnight, but I just think that they played Biblical Studies. I just don't know if anybody's that good. They don't have anybody who averaged over 6 points per game last season. I'm going to take a chance on the Demons here. I'm going to play them against the spread. Line's not out yet. I do think this is going to be below 20 because they did have to go to overtime in the first game. The book's going to be leaning on that. So I'm going to guess anywhere between 14 and 19. Obviously, I'd love it to be on the lower side of that, but I think Prairie View's a bad team. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like high 17.5, 18.5 or something like that, but I would love to get it at 15.5, 16.5. But play is going to be DePaul against the spread. Let's go to the player prop for tomorrow. Only one player prop. We are going to get to watch this game. It's going to be Isaiah Rivera of DePaul to go over his total points going up against Prairie View. I was able to take a Poplar from Villanova the morning of. It was 14 or 13.5, hoping I could take Isaiah in this game as well, but this is not a big-time game. There are not a lot of big games that we can break down. I'm doing my best to break down at least one game that I can find on TV and watch, but player props, this one might not come out tomorrow. It's going to be on television, which is a good sign for player props. Typically, whenever they are on TV, you can bet them, but I'm going to play this anywhere between 13.5 and 19.5. If it's over 20, I'm just not going to do it. It's not worth it. I'm sure you can score over 20-plus points. I just haven't seen him play yet, and I don't expect this to be a competitive game, so he might not get his full rotation. In that game against Southern Indiana, he was a big part of why they were able to win. He scored 25 points. He shot 50% from the field. He shot 50% from three-point range. Isaiah last season, he played for UIC, the Flames. But before that, he was at Colorado State for 3 years. Looking at his numbers with the Flames, he did score over 15 points per game. He shot 46% from the field, and this has been a three-point shooter his entire career. He shot 41.6% last season from deep. He made 5 3-point shots in that first game. He took 9 attempts, so he's very comfortable from the outside. He also shot the most on the team, which is always important whenever you're looking at player props. If you shoot the most, if you play the most minutes per game, chances are you're going to hit your player prop, especially if you're a decent shooter. I like him in this game to duplicate the first performance. I'm going to take him over his total points if it's under 20 points as the play for tomorrow. Let's take a look at the recap graphic. I am really hoping, I know we've got some big games this weekend and Friday night, so we're going to have some big games, probably a double breakdown, because I like to do double breakdowns for these videos. But we're going to go with DePaul against the spread. Again, probably between 15 and 20. I love the play there. Isaiah Rivera over his total points against Prairie View, anywhere between 14.5 and 19.5. Sign me up for that play. But guys, that's going to do it for the NCAA basketball picks and props for Thursday, November 7th slated games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please sure to drop a like this video and subscribe to the channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.